All right, guys. I know we still got some more popping on, but it looks like we got 22, 23 on there now. I know there's more people registered, but let's kind of get rolling and appreciate all of you guys being here, like right at the top of the hour so we can get started and uh, kick this off. And Kathy, we're glad to have you back. If any of you were on the last time we had Kathy, where she presented the disc profile, boy, Kathy, we got a lot of good feedback from that class. Everybody loved it. Great insight, great slides. A lot of note taking, super, super helpful. That actually might be one we would want to do a follow up, another one
That
on.
would be awesome. I
Yeah.
also do an advanced disc class too, if anybody's interested in that, where it kind of like, okay, now that we've laid the groundwork for the disc, here's the next level of information. And I find that that one is being received well too. So we want to do that when we could do that. It'd be just a little bit of add-on for the disc class itself.
Disc 2.0.
That's right.
That
right.
Really
but thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm hoping today is going to be just as good and you guys are going to have some fun and learn a lot.
Yeah, I think so. I think you can tell by the attendance of the people that are already here. They're eager and they're waiting and they're here early. So let's kind of get started. And those of you that don't know Kathy, she's a personal friend of ours. We were both at the Keller Williams office when we were both with Keller Williams, and we both moved on to different things. Obviously, Lynn and I are with eXp Realty now, and Kathy has found probably a job more suited for her personality, her willingness and a desire to help people and see them succeed. Pulling from how great she was as a team leader at Keller Williams, I kind of sense that you're kind of found your spot, Kathy. You seem to shine in what you're doing. It really showed in the last class, and we're excited to have you. And guys, this is original materials. Kathy just let me know this is original content that she created for this class. So we're kind of the inaugural on this presentation.
And she is doing this so we can all learn about Novation title.
Yes. So my official title over at Novation, Jeff, you're right. I think I've really found a great swim lane for myself. So Nudia Rivera is the owner of Novation Title, and she hired me to be the development coach here at Novation. So no other title company has ever hired a real estate coach for the agents, and we've created all kinds of content for us to help you guys grow your business. And whether you're new or whether you're established, we hope that there's something in here for everyone. And I've given the material, a few of the pieces, over to some of my experienced agent friends, and they were kind of giggling and they said, it was really great to read through it because it kind of reminded me of some things that maybe some details I had dropped and had forgotten about. So it's really good for everybody. And the thing that we hope is that we have a win-win situation here where we can give you guys some really great education and some maybe some entertainment along the way, but then you guys can come over and check us out here at Novation because we're redefining the experience of title. Because if you're an established agent, you know that sometimes title can be rather humdrum and boring. And it's anything but that here at Novation. We celebrate, we have cannons of confetti, we have pictures. I mean, it's just a true celebration of home ownership. And so we're really, really kind of creating and foraging something that's brand new in all kinds of different directions, because Nudia is the best innovator that I know. And so that's kind of where we're coming from. So Jeff, were we ready to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, we're ready to go ahead and get started, and appreciate you kind of giving that little bit of background on there. You have a slide that you can share later with your contact information on it for everybody, right?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. So I'm just going to turn it over to you now, and you can share your screen and get about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So it looks like we just need, so I need your permission, I think, Jeff.
Okay, should work now. Sorry.
Perfect. Oh, here we go. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Everything's all good?
Yep, we see it.
Yay, first thing down. It's like, as long as we start well and end well, we're doing great. Okay, so this class, you guys, is on mindset. And here's what we are attempting to do is to create a class on mindset that actually gives you some tactical terms in how to approach your life, your attitude, your business. It's just so many things. And we've got a lot of really good, solid pieces of information where we're going to help you guys get straight right in your mind. So I hope you take some great notes. Welcome to the class. What's the purpose? So we're obsessed with education here at Novation. We're obsessed with education for ourselves and also for you guys. We create an exclusive experience for the realtor that is new to the industry or that has found real estate challenging to get started and to thrive. And we do that in providing a safe environment to learn and grow through our development programs. So Novation Title, we are the title company that will provide you with more. So our outcome here, you guys, is that we want to be a part of your journey. That's really, really important to us. And so the vision of Nova Academy is to support real estate agents' journey in their initial transactions and beyond. We're a part of the story by educating and creating an exclusive learning culture for all realtors to learn, grow, and thrive. So how do I start this business with the right mindset in tactical terms? That's the one thing that I kind of felt was missing in some mindset classes that I've taken in the past, is the fact that it's like, this is really, good information. However, what do I do and how do I take this into my business? So if we look at it in 3 different categories, we've got the mindset, we've got attitude, and we have life. So with mindset, the growth mindset is a scientifically proven way to increase your results as an agent. In order to practice growth mindset, remember to go to bed smarter than you woke up, embrace that failure is a learning opportunity, and set higher goals. Reward yourself for the hustle and the results. So your daily mindset is everything. But here's the one thing that I really kind of want to highlight and really get you guys to pay attention to, is that sometimes we can only reward the results, but especially if you're brand new starting out into the industry, let's reward your hustle. Let's reward the things that you did every day to move your needle forward. So attitude, focus on the positive. It's easy to start second guessing yourself, whether you're trying to sell a home or help buyers find the perfect new home. Instead of letting those thoughts take over, turn them into encouraging ones that make you feel more confident. We'll talk a little bit more about this in detail later on in the class, but here's something that I really want also to highlight for you guys, is that sometimes when we wake up in the morning, can we all agree that we don't always wake up in the most perfect mood or the most perfect circumstance? And maybe our mindset isn't great when we first crack open our eyelids in the morning. What do you do about that? So I don't love, okay, so here's kind of a double-edged sword, you guys. And if you know anything about me, you know that I'm super real. I'll be very authentic with you, and I'll share with you my thoughts and my experiences. So I don't love the fact that I do sleep with my phone beside my bed and I do have it on. But let me tell you why. Because in my life right now, my father is in a health situation and I want to be there should he need me at all hours of the day and night. And so I've embraced this in a positive way, because not only am I there for my dad if he needs me, but then I'm also utilizing it because I will grab my phone first thing in the morning before I ever even lift my head up off the pillow. I will hit my Pinterest boards. So I want you guys to think about Pinterest as being a really positive thing for your business, because I've created several different boards. And so one of the things that I have created, okay, so here's my Pinterest. Okay, there's that. So one of the things that I've created, you guys, is my daily affirmations and my I ams. And I've got them in categories, okay? So in my daily affirmations, if you click on that, I've got good vibe intentions, spirituality, and I ams. And so life presents sometimes some stresses for us. Can we all say an amen? So when we have those stresses, how are we going to affect our attitude and change our mindset? We can actually speak out loud our I ams and our daily affirmations. And that is one of the really great things that I love Pinterest for, is because I'm able to build these boards exactly the way that I want them to be. And I use humor a lot in my life, because I've always said, if you make me laugh, I will follow you anywhere. And I have some really great funny things on my Pinterest boards that have nothing to do except real estate, like real estate funnies. Because if we can't laugh at some of the stress we face in real estate, then we're in serious trouble. So with life, you simply smile and enjoy the ride. The process of real estate isn't easy, but it's so worth it. And you can trust the process. You will succeed at a high level. Surround yourself with positive-minded professionals. Hang around with other realtors who also share an optimistic outlook. The positive feelings that you pick up from them will also help you maintain a cheerful view, which clients will appreciate. So you guys, you've got really two beautiful examples sitting right in front of you, and that's Lynn and Jeff Merchant. They are the most positive-minded people. They are the most uplifting people. And if you don't absolutely take advantage of their knowledge and also their great attitudes, then you're really missing the boat. So mindset around goal setting. So challenge yourself. So think of your business in numbers. So for example, do you want to be Rookie of the Year? Did you know that the Salt Lake Board of Realtors hands out an award every year for Rookie of the Year? It is different every year. The numbers that that person comes across is different every year. I've seen Rookies of the Year with 18 transactions closed. I've seen Rookies of the Year with 50 transactions closed. It just depends on that year. But that's something that I think you should do some research for. If an award is something that really pushes you forward to do your best, you can call the Utah Board of Realtors, Salt Lake Board of Realtors, and you can talk to Gavin Krasinski, and he'll be able to tell you what the Rookie of the Year, like what those numbers look like. And if that's something that absolutely inspires you and moves you forward, do it. So how many deals would you like to close to accomplish your goal? Do you have an accountability partner in mind? It should be someone that can truly hold you accountable. In other words, you guys, they're going to need your permission to hold you accountable. And you should talk to them every week, and you should report your numbers to that person. So they'll look like this. There'll be the goal, and you give that number. It'll be the actual, you give that number, and did you hit it or did you miss it? So here's what I'm talking about. Like if Lynn was my accountability partner, and she knows that I want to close 4 transactions a month. So on week 1, I tell her my goal is to close 4 per month. My actual is I have 1 already under contract, and I have 2 in my pipeline, but I have 1 under contract. So for right now on week 1, I'm hitting my goal. And then she says, good job, Kathy, virtual high five. And then here we go. Now, let's say we're at week 2. And I call Lynn on my Friday 8 a.m. appointment that I have with her, and I say, okay, my goal is 4 for the month. My actual is I'm at 1. So on week 2, I'm missing that goal a little bit. So she may dive a little bit into that and say, well, Kathy, tell me about what you have that's close to going under contract. And what can you do to push them forward and to get that under contract? Or do you feel like you can hit 2 under contracts next week? Is that in your pipeline? So that's what accountability with an accountability partner actually looks like. You report your calls, your conversations, your leads, your contracts, and your under contracts and your solds. So again, let's do that again. Report your calls. How many calls, how many people did you talk to? Got your conversations. So I may have made 150 calls, which means 150 dials, but I only talked to 75. So that's 75 conversations. Out of those 75 conversations, I have 2 leads. Of those 2 leads, I have 1 contract. That means 1 person has hired me to help them buy their home. My under contracts, now we're looking at the previous months, my under contracts, I may have 1. And then my sold, I may have like 2 sold so far. So that's how we look at our numbers and have our mindset solid around goal setting. So your life by design. So follow a schedule for success in business and in health. So to follow a schedule is paramount to your success being a realtor and also a human being. So later on, we'll go over an hour by hour schedule sample for you that you can customize for your own individual needs. I'm also going to be sending you one of Nudia's pieces of homework, and this is going to help you dive a little bit deeper on some goals that you might want to set for your life in general. Might not have business per se, but it's going to be about your life. And I want you to promise me that you will take a half hour and really look at the schedule, really be discerning about your schedule, because I have a rule that I really follow, and it is, if it's not in my schedule, it doesn't exist. And if I erase, I must replace. So let me say that again. If it's not in my schedule, it doesn't exist. And if I erase, then I must replace. So let's just say, as an example, I have my lead gen down in the morning from 9 until 11. If I have a client that is in from out of town and they only have 48 hours to find a home, my lead gen for 2 days is going to leave in the morning because I've got to go and commit to these clients. But if I'm going to take that away in the morning because they would prefer to look at houses from 10 until 3 each day until we find them a home, then my lead gen is now going to be moved from 4 until 6. But here's the cool thing about that concept, you guys, is that I want you to really take strong mental notice about, here's my results if I make my calls every morning from 9 to 11. Here's my results if I make my calls from 4 to 6 every day. Now I'm going to probably be talking to 2 separate groups of people. Some people will answer their phone in the morning. Some people will answer their call in the afternoon. Take note. And really, my best advice is take your lead gen and just kind of put in a little bit of a bag and kind of mix it up a little bit. Do a little of both. Do a little bit of morning, do a little bit of afternoon, kind of, because I'm telling you, you'll take notice of the fact that you're going to be talking to 2 separate groups of people. So stay learning based. I can't stress this enough. At Novation Title Company, we're obsessed with education and growth. And we commit to learning something new and reading and listening to great books each day. Did you know that most CEOs, which is exactly what you guys are because you're running your business, you're an entrepreneur and you're the CEO of your own company, they read 35 books a year. Leaders are readers. And I have a book and a podcast list handout that at the end of this class, I will email out to you. I'm going to stop for just a moment. I'm going to ask you, if you kind of zipped into the Zoom and we don't have your email, if you will do me a huge favor, hop into the chat room, write your name and your email address. I will be happy to make sure that you receive. We have 7 handouts at the end of this class, you guys, and this is going to be really great information for you, and I want to make sure that I get it for you. So write it down, your goals and your schedules. So the morning routine in the schedule, I have I call it my hour by hour plan for a perfect day. And it's 3 pages of my schedule when I was a realtor. And now that I've gone into coaching, it's a tiny bit different. And I'll tell you what the difference is that I schedule my showings when I was a realtor. So I'm about to say something that will absolutely change your life, and I really want you to hear me. My thing I'm going to tell you is, think of me standing behind your head, and I'm like this. And if I hear you say, oh, you would like to hire me to show houses to you and to help you buy your first home, that's awesome. When would you like to go? I'm going to smack you in the back of your head, and I'm going to say, no, don't ever let that come out of your mouth again. You say, I have time tomorrow at 2 and at 4. What works best for you? I've just changed your life. I have given you back your schedule. Because if you say that to them, I'm guaranteeing you 80% of the time, they'll look at each other and they'll go, oh, yeah, 4. 4 is good. I can get off work a half hour early. Sure, let's go at 4. They will plug into your schedule. Don't say to them when is good for you, because then your schedule is just blown all the heck and back and you don't have control over anything. you're not running a correct business. And so let's really be mindful of that one thing, okay? So positivity. So how do you talk to yourself? Talk to yourself as if you were your own best friend. Who do you choose to hang out with? And choose your friends wisely. And don't be the smartest one in the room. If you're the smartest one in the room, get a new room. Because at the end of the day, if you're not growing, then you're dying. And you gotta always keep growing. And so put yourself into those maybe, possibly, potentially challenging rooms, because you might not be able to even contribute the first couple of times you've gone into that room, because they're talking about things that you need to learn more about before you can contribute. But you got to put yourself in those challenging rooms. And here's the thing. No, I'm not telling you to go and fire all of your friends and get new ones. I'm not saying that. In just a minute, we'll talk about friendships in business, and then the people you hang out with in business and the people that you hang out with in your personal life. We'll talk about how do we kind of look at that. So the brain simply believes what you tell it most, and what you tell it about you, it will create. It has no choice. So when we look at our schedule, if you look at mine, it's got the meditation in there. And you guys, I'm not a guru sitting on a mountainside meditating for an hour. Like, who has that kind of time? I certainly don't. But at the end of the day, even if I have 5 minutes to meditate and to visualize, then I will take it. I prefer 10 or 15 minutes. But if you can visualize exactly what your life by design looks like, your brain can't tell the difference between actuality and your visualization. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So let's stop for just a sec. Why don't you guys write in the chat room and tell me if you guys have used meditation and have used visualization, and how does that work for you guys? Like, come off mute and somebody talk to me about visualizing and about meditating for just like 1 minute. So who wants to volunteer? Come on,
I will.
guys? Okay, perfect.
I will.
And what's your name?
Brandon DeVere.
Brandon, nice
Yes.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So meditation has been very, very hard for me. I've done a couple different things. I have a tough time shutting off my brain.
Yep.
So I'll go to YouTube and do like I'll jump in the tub. I'm a bath taker. I'm just letting everybody know that right now. I jump in the tub and I'll listen to YouTube, like guided meditations. And that's been helpful. That, and also I've done like flotation therapy. If you've heard of that.
Always wanted to do that. Do you love it?
Oh, it's amazing. I have 3 right now that I need to hurry up and do. But even that, it took me like, you go in there for an hour and it takes me like 30 minutes before I finally realize I'm thinking about nothing. I've tried it with yoga as well, but it is very hard. But when you actually get to the point where you can like meditate, like it's very refreshing, as well as like the visualization. If you're, I found that there's like a couple different types of meditation. Like one that I typically use, and I didn't realize it was actually meditation until I talked to somebody who was teaching me about meditation, is when I think of something negative that I want out of my life or out of my mind. Like I have this same room I go to in my head, like the same hotel room that like backs up to a cliff, and it has the pictures in the same spot on the wall. And there's a suitcase on one of the beds, and I visualize like grabbing all of whatever it is that I don't want in my life. I put in that suitcase and lock the suitcase up and chuck it out the window and watch it fall to down the cliff to the ocean and wash away.
I love that. Thank you. That's amazing. Where do you go to your flotation practice?
I live in Las Vegas, so it's a few blocks down the street.
There just for my Salt Lake peeps, there is a flotation, I don't know, what do you call it, studio? There is one, and I think there's one in South, and I think there's one in Sugar House. And I get Groupons for it every once in a while, and I really wanted to try it. So now, Brandon, you've inspired me. I'm going to now try it.
The one I've gone to is True Rest Float Spa, and that one they have like the bigger pods, because the original ones that were so like skinny that it freaked people out.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's discuss and analyze together a business plan. So I've got homework for you guys on your business plan. It's a really simple process about here's how much money I want to make. And a lot of times realtors, if you're new to the industry, well, sometimes even if you're not, you think, oh, I want to make $100,000. So you close enough to make commission for $100,000. That doesn't mean you've made $100,000 because you have got business costs, the cost of sales, you've got marketing, you've got all kinds of things. Plus you've got, oh, I don't know, this little thing the IRS calls taxes. And so it's like, you've got to consider like the whole big picture to make sure that your net is the 100,000. So I've got a little homework assignment for you about that. And then we're also going, so Nudia is going to be holding a business planning workshop probably around October, November. And I'm also going to be holding a vision board class. And I thought about it with you guys, and I thought it would be super fun for us to hop online, and I'll get us kind of all started, but let's keep the Zoom rolling while we're working on our vision boards. We'll have some music playing in the background. And then at the end, we'll pop in when we're done, and then we'll hold up our vision boards and discuss it. So I think that would be a really cool class for you guys. So I'm gonna put that in my docket, and hopefully you guys will be into it, because I think vision boards are really great. I've had some friends of mine that are so into them that they've kept the very first one, and they love the fact that they can look back and know that they've accomplished the things that they wanted to accomplish. And here's one of the biggest ahas is that sometimes we can say, hey, here's this vision board for 2021, but it might be 2023 until you see everything done. But to me, that's a good vision board, because now you're really pushing for something that might take a little bit more than a year to accomplish. And I love to see that. Also, design your business. There's a simple calculation. I'll be sending that to you. I have a worksheet called the money equation. And in the money equation, it's going to be taking everything from the cost of doing business, your taxes. If you're brand new and you don't know what your average price point is because you haven't sold anything yet, don't fret. Use this. 365,000 is the average price point right now in Salt Lake City. So use that as a 3% commission, and then just work it off of that. But if you are an established realtor, please know what your average price point is. And you can take that by looking at last year's. You take your total volume, divide that by how many transactions, how many houses you closed, and that will give you your average price point so that you can calculate out what that looks like. And then here's a funny little idea. We have to stick to it. We have to say, okay, here's the plan, and then we have to stick to it. It doesn't mean that it can't ever be tweaked throughout the year. I think tweaking once a quarter is absolutely perfect, because you're going to do a review at the end of every month. And to be honest with you guys, I'm kind of in the mindset anymore of look at it every week. I want to look at it every week so that the end of the month doesn't surprise me. And I want to look at it for sure at the end of every month, so that at the end of the quarter, it doesn't surprise me there either, so that at the end of the year, I'm not surprised again. And sometimes at the end of each quarter, you may be exceeding your goals, especially like in first, second, and third quarter. But make sure that you look at fourth quarter and see what your normal business is doing in the fourth quarter. Because here is one of my takes, is that when I was at Keller Williams and I had a team leader, it was Lee Stern. And Lee made sure she kind of drove it into my mind that fourth quarter should be my best quarter of the year. And I'm like, well, but there's holidays, there's my kids, there's this, there's that. And they had like all kinds of excuses as to why it couldn't possibly be my best quarter. Then she explained it to me like this. She said, in October, you've got a group of realtors that are sitting down in preparation for the holidays. Then in November, you have another group of realtors, and then they sit down because, well, Thanksgiving's right around right around the corner. Christmas is right around the corner, yada, yada, yada. They sit down. And then in December, like everybody that's left standing, pretty much about 90% of them just sit down because it's December. Well, nobody wants to move. Make up all kinds of different excuses and reasons that they tell themselves that. But here's what you want to be. You want to be the one left standing, because life still happens in October, November, and December, and they still need a good real estate agent, and they still need your help. And believe it or not, companies are still going to be moving and relocating people all around the country, even in October, November, and December. So be the one left standing, and really put that into your mind. Now, that doesn't mean, I'm not telling you to look at your family and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't possibly go to Christmas Eve service because I'm working. No, I didn't say that. Don't do that. Again, if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. But that also stands for your personal life, you guys. So let's stop right there and let's take note in the fact that if your son plays lacrosse and you know when his practices are and you know when his games are, then you write those in your calendar if it's important to you to be at the practice and the games. If he's old enough to drive himself to the practice and he thinks it's cool to pick up all of his friends and you trust him to do that and get there safely, great. Give him that, and then they can be responsible for that. But as a mom or a dad, it's really important. Even your kids tell you it's not important to be at the games. You guys don't believe them, they're teenagers. It's very, very important for you to be present with the things that your kids are doing, okay? So put those games in the calendar, and then here I'm about to change your life again, so listen up. It's an appointment. It's nobody's business where you are and what you're doing. I was so guilty, you guys, of verbally vomiting details on people that they didn't need to know those details. I didn't need to let anybody know, oh, hey, I'm sorry, I can't show houses at 4. My son has a game at 5 and I couldn't make it all work. No. If that day my son has a game at 5, then that 4 o'clock showing just became another time because I'm going to be there at that game at 5. Okay, does that all make sense? Give me a thumbs up if that does. Make sense? Okay, perfect. Love it. Okay. So find a real estate mentor. So who has a business that you would like to have? Are they successful? Are they learning based? Are they a leader? Are they knowledgeable, disciplined, and driven? These are all great qualities of a real estate mentor. Now, you guys are in a virtual world. So don't sell yourself short and think to yourself, oh, I can't possibly do the, meet someone. Okay, that may not be how you guys choose to do the business as far as getting to know other real estate agents across the nation. But here's what you can do. Have a cup of coffee on Zoom and talk to them about their business. You want to know about what makes them successful. You want to know what would be their best advice if they could go back to their very first year in business. And you say to them, if you could give yourself advice that very first year, what would that be? Okay, so really ask them some great questions about their business, dig deep a little bit. And here's another tip, you guys really only take about 15-20 minutes of their time, because if they're truly a really great, successful real estate agent, they haven't got a whole lot of time, but if they're willing to give you 15 or 20 minutes and you can learn some tidbits for your business, it's totally worth it. So surround yourself with like-minded, successful people. So here's where we're going to talk a little bit about the top 5 people in your business and the top 5 people in your personal life, because you are the product of the top 5 people that you choose to hang out with. And like I said, I'm not telling you to go out and fire your list of people that you're hanging out with right now, unless it's like a crab bucket and they're the crabs that are pulling you back down to their level because they don't want to see you be successful. That person I would spend way less time with, because you have now stepped into the world of real estate. And if your friends are not going to be genuinely supportive of your goals, genuinely supportive of the things that you want to accomplish for yourself or your family, even if it's for you and your dog, if you want to go and take him on the most amazing hike, then do it, commit to it. But here's the thing, surround yourself with the people that are truly going to support you and that might even give you a nudge and a push every once in a while and challenge you, okay? Believe in abundance, not scarcity. So in the laws of attraction, it's very, very powerful. And so don't walk around attracting bad thoughts to yourself, and always think in abundance and raise your vibration. So again, we're going to go back to the very beginning of our day. What if you wake up and you open your eyes and you can feel it, your vibration just isn't there. Or maybe your feet have hit the ground, toddling into the kitchen to make yourself a cup of coffee, and you're just, maybe you didn't sleep well the night before, maybe you know, your back hurts, maybe what in your knees, whatever it is, okay? You stop yourself right then and there, and you change that mindset, because you can raise your vibration even when you're tired by just, what are you pulling into your life? What are you pulling into your brain? What are you doing with the people that are all around you? Because sometimes it even takes a phone call, you guys. Sometimes it can just be, I need to reach out to this person because you know what? They're always that magic bullet for me that just kind of changed my world. And they just be like, you know what? You're going to be great today. You're going to be awesome. You're going to accomplish all of your goals. I know it. I believe in you. Yada, yada, yada. And now that's a good hangout. And that might be 2 minutes of your day, but it's a good hangout. So read, listen, and create. So Nova Academy book list and podcast list. Super excited about this, you guys. We went around our office and we've created a book of a list of 18 books and a list of 28 podcasts that we listen to as a group or individuals, whatever. It's going to give you a really great base. But here's what I would love. I would love for you guys to respond back to me and say, hey, here's a really great book, or here's a really great podcast that I listened to that's not on your list. So you can help me grow my list, because it's all going to be for the benefit of everyone. So don't forget to be creative in your life. So the things that you create can be all kinds of different things. Like I love to paint and I love people. And so paint nights for me are like the perfect elixir, because I can go with my friends, I can create some pretty picture. We all take a big picture at the end. And what I love about the end of paint night is that no two pictures ever look the same. And that's the beauty of it, is that no two people ever see that. They have the same tools I have. They have an easel, they have the canvas, they have the paintbrushes, they even have the same paints. But we're never going to create the same thing. But isn't that what it's like with our business? And isn't that like what it's like with our life? Is that we can create so many different things with what we choose to bring in. So raise your vibration, create something, make sure you're reading some really awesome things and then listening. So create a brand that reflects how you want your business to be perceived. So when I was talking to Nudia about this, it was really fun because she started talking to me about how she created the logo. And it is a really fun activity. And does it reflect you? And what's the history and the story? And so here's a little video of Nudia and how she has created, oh, is my video gone? Oh, no, wait, there it is. Wait, hang on. Ah! Hold on. How do we get the sound? Hang on.
Do you have sound playing on your end, Kathy?
No.
Okay.
Hey, hold on. Okay. Well, shoot. It worked yesterday. Oh, darn it. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and go on with the presentation, and then we'll get that we'll send that out to you as a,
That's what I was just going to suggest. Maybe you have a link to that we could.
yeah, we'll send out a link to that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
we're all intrigued now. That was
It's a great little video. She even gave some tips. How do we get back into Zoom?
Sorry, guys.
Do we hit that little blue camera down there to get me back into Zoom? Perfect. Okay, let's just get back in there. Awesome. Okay, so we'll send you a link to that, and it's great because she actually does give you some tips on how to grow your business. Okay. Okay, so in addition to the logo is also the mission statement. So this is something that I want you guys to think about creating for your business as well. And it can be a really fun activity as well, but does it reflect who you are and what you want the public to perceive? So our mission statement is we believe in making an impact and having purpose within our community. We're protecting real estate investments and giving back to our surroundings or creating opportunity and growth for others. We are here to redefine the experience. So being congruent with your message is really important. And just congruence is the correspondence between what you feel and what you express. So find the right niche. So what are you going to be known for? So is it a geographic area? It might be something like a geographic farm. If so, which areas are you interested in? One thing that I would do, if you guys are interested in a geographic farm, here's a couple of tips for you. I would do some research on the area itself and make sure that people are moving. So for example, we have neighborhoods here in Salt Lake that I call them lifer neighborhoods, where they're going to carry these people out feet first. And they don't move very often. And you know, it might be like, you might see movement every 6 to 7 years, maybe 10, 15 years, it just depends. That wouldn't be a great geographic farm for me, just because I'd like to see a little bit more movement. So I would do a little research on that. But then also, is a certain group of people something that you want to identify with? And then what attracts you to them? But then also, does your brand reflect that niche? And what's your brand's message? So a friend of mine, I think does a really great job. Her name is Ashley Lindsay, and she loves to hike. She loves to rescue dogs. And so she has incorporated her 2 puppies inside of her business. And what I love about this is that she and I were together a couple of weeks ago, and I said, you know, I've really seen, she's always had a good book of business, but I love the fact that I have watched her business grow yet again in the last, say, year and a half. And I said, what is the difference? Like, what have you done? And she said, I really started just being authentically me. And so she's also a vegan, and she also loves off-leash parks, places that she can take her dogs, and she loves to hike. And so she really started letting her marketing reflect her authentic self. And you guys, somebody that's been in business for 16 years, to see another boost in the business, I thought that was phenomenal. And this is the reason why, and this is why I wanted to kind of show you this, is that you need to let your brand be authentically you and reflect who you are, and then speak to those groups of people that also vibe with you on these same topics. So learn to sell your knowledge. So be a good consultant with asking great questions, and then practice listening. So one of the classes that I'm teaching inside of Nova Academy is the art of asking great questions, but then also the wonderful art of actually listening to the responses of your clients, taking copious notes so that you can stay in tune with where they're at mentally, so that you can truly help them. You've worked really hard. Now step into the arena of truly learning your craft. So treat your clients like gold. They can be your best advocates or your worst nightmares. And how are you going to communicate with them? You got one of two things can happen. So you can reach out and ask them, how do you want to be communicated with? Do you prefer phone calls or text? Do you prefer emails? And then make sure you have their updated information and you double check that, okay? Or you can set a plan and you can follow it. So on the plan side, you can let your clients know the routine that you're going to follow, and then you follow it. And then if you even say, I'm going to call you every Monday morning at 9 a.m. with all of the people that have, a report on the showings that you've received over the weekend. Let's just say, probably not in this market right now, but let's just say that nobody went to go see the house over the weekend and you have nothing to report. You don't not call, you call and you say, it's Monday at 9 a.m. and I'm here with the report. And no, people have gone to see your home. Perhaps it's time to have a conversation about adjusting, the listing price, or maybe we need to look at the condition or whatever it is. That's the time to have those kinds of conversations. And if they're buyers, they may be receiving updates from you daily on houses. As quickly as the market is moving, that's a very possible thing. And hourly if you're in negotiations. So keep finding new clients. We really got one job, and that's lead generation, especially when we're new and we haven't closed a deal or two. If you haven't, then use your brokerage's success to tell the story, but do tell the story of how the market is doing. And then creating an elevator speech. So that's one of the pieces that you're going to be getting. So an elevator speech is this. It is your 30-second speech. Like if you were in an elevator with someone or a group of people, how do you tell them in 30 seconds or less, what do you do? And how do you make that impactful? So this speech, as far as like the task itself, this will absolutely help you walk through it step by step so you can create your own and have be impactful. So prospecting is the name of the game with absolutely this business. So in the beginning of your career, you really only have one job, and that's lead generation until you have a client, and then they decide to hire you. That's what you do every day. You don't have other things on your calendar. You're just absolutely looking for the person that's going to say yes. So referrals. This is something that I think that all agents, doesn't matter if you're new or if you're established, I think that we let referrals kind of slip through our fingers. So I want to challenge you. I like to see you guys have 5 pillars of income with your business. And I would love to see referrals being one of those pillars. And I want you to set a goal, a dollar amount for how many referrals you want to make money off of. And so for me, it was like 15,000. I wanted to make 15,000 off of my referrals. So here's how this works, is that you either teach people how to refer you and tell them that you're nationwide, and you can also be listening to your clients. So if you go to a listing and they decide to hire you and you say, well, where are you going to next? And they say, Chicago. And then you say, I've got a couple of really great agents in Chicago that I can refer you to. I will send you those names and numbers as soon as I get back to my office. Now, you may not know people that are in Chicago that can sell, or I'm sorry, that are realtors that are personal friends of yours. However, Google is your best friend. And so you can get on and you can find some really great top producers in Chicago. And then you call them quickly and you say, I'm going to go ahead and send you my referral form. When I get this back from you, and I expect it back within the hour, when I get this signed back from you, I'm going to send you the contact information of these clients. They're going to be moving to Chicago, so this is an absolute must. And if they don't sign it quickly, then I'm moving on to the next one. I look for 2, but if I do have relationships with somebody that's like I've got a stellar agent that I absolutely love in LA, I'm going to send all of my business to her because I know that she's a great closer and she's going to get it done. And so that's how I send that. And I found, this is from the National Association of Realtors, you guys, but this is a form that you can utilize, and I want to see you start making some good money off of referrals. So limiting beliefs. I must, I can't, I'm not, I don't, I should. Oh, when we should all over ourselves, isn't that amazing? So what do you do when you have a limiting belief and it is your state of mind, your conviction or belief that can be true that limits you in all kinds of different ways? This limiting belief could be you, your interactions with other people, or with the world and how it works. Limiting beliefs can have a number of negative effects on you. And so what do you want to do? You want to remove them. So how do you do that? Step one, start overcoming your limiting beliefs by journaling about them. So one of the things that you'll find from my daily success schedule is that I journal every day. It's part of my miracle morning. It's a book. It's a real quick read, you guys. It's by Hal Elrod. You might already be familiar with it. And it really is a powerful way to start your day. But journaling is one of the tasks in there. And so I really do write down the limiting beliefs I have, and then how am I going to get around them? But I rewrite that story. Sometimes in the morning, the limiting beliefs can be the only thing that you write about. And then on the weekends is when I use the Saturdays and Sundays to rewrite that story. Because I want to take my time with rewriting the story, and I want to write a different ending than maybe the one that's coming up in my mind of limiting beliefs, and then take action towards that. So last weekend, you guys, I really had a breakthrough. And in rewriting my story, all of a sudden, my pen just kind of took over my brain, and it was just like, what if? And I came up with some really great action steps of what if this was really true about my life? What if this was really something that was part of my life? And then what can I do to make those things happen? So some really cool things can come about that. And I would really love for you guys to utilize that and just really take that time to write it down, then rewrite the story if you don't love the ending, and then take those action steps. So the other thing is, have a big passion for your why. He who has a why can endure any how. So the vision board exercise that I was telling you about, we're going to be doing that probably in October and November. You don't have to wait for me. You can go ahead and start cutting out some pictures or use your Pinterest board if you want to. Start really, because you guys, I'm not kidding. Like, I've got my Pinterest board's like super powerful, because I started thinking about, what does my life look like as it plays out? Like, what is me living my best life? Specifically, in detail, what does that look like? And so I created a Pinterest board on retirement homes. So I know exactly what I want my retirement home to look like. And you know what? As Lynn and Jeff know, I've had the big home. I don't necessarily want that anymore. I don't want to clean it. I don't want to take care of it. I don't want to be tied to it. And so my beautiful retirement home has a ton of windows. It's not a tiny home, because I just don't think I can do that. My brain just won't wrap around me living in 600 square feet. I just don't see myself at that. But it is a smaller side, but it's got a lot of windows. It's got great lighting. It's got a lot of green around it. It's got water. It's got lights. And my backyard, I have in great detail exactly what I want my backyard to look like. And that's just really important to me. And again, your brain can't tell the difference between what you're visualizing, and then you've got action steps to get yourself there. So the other thing is, what's your life map? We kind of talked a little bit about it. Don't be afraid to really look and see what your life map is all about. And then also don't be afraid to tweak it. I mean, there's seasons in our life, but I don't think that we have 4 seasons. I think sometimes 4 seasons can rotate throughout our whole life. Okay. And it doesn't have to always go winter, spring, fall, summer. It doesn't always have to go that way. It can go in all kinds of different ways. So write a few of your ideas down about your life map. And then what's your intention for each day? So we're boiling it down to one thing. So what's your intention for each day? And then I want to challenge you to speak out loud. And here's another really interesting story. I took an assessment last year and I found out something about myself, that I was not my own best friend. I was probably one of my own worst enemies. And I wasn't talking to myself very kindly. I wasn't talking to myself nicely at all. And so I rewrote the story. And my action step was that if I couldn't break that pattern of that wickedness that was rolling around in my brain sometimes for myself, then I was going to start speaking out loud. And so when I would do something that was good for myself or kind to myself, I would say, you know what, that's a good job. You did a really great job there. And what's really funny, I'll tell you a funny story. I was walking my dog about a month ago, and somehow my microphone got turned on with my text, and I'd been texting my kids. And this little fat English bulldog came like rolling up. It looked like his little legs were rolling in circles. He was rolling up on my dog so fast. And he was like, coming, coming, coming. And I was like, and I've got a harness because my dog's big. Lynn and Jeff know this. I got a harness with a handle. So I just gently reached down it, because if I pick up that handle with any kind of aggression, he knows like, oh my gosh, something's happening. That's an enemy. So if I very gently reached down and picked up the handle, and I just had hold of him just in case, because I could always pick up his front legs, right? If I pick up his front legs, he's immobile and he can't do anything. So I had hold of him and I was like, okay. And then this bulldog comes up and he was just that perfect size. He just went straight under my dog. And my dog's looking at me like, what's going on? I'm talking to the dog like I've learned to talk to myself. And I'm like, good boy, you're doing so well. We don't even know who this dog is. And you're just, and it all voice texted to my kids. And when I got back home, my kids come rolling out laughing. And they're like, what in the world are you doing? I'm laughing until the whole story. And I was just like, but you know what? That was a really great aha moment, because not only was I talking nicely to me, but I was also spreading that goodness to one of my best friends, which is my dog. And so it's like, I just thought that was kind of cool. And I know he responds well to it. So that makes me happy. So here we are. Thank you. I hope you guys have enjoyed this class. I would love to have you guys come off mute if you have any questions. Is there anything that I can help you guys with? Again, we're looking for that win-win, you guys. So I would love to have you send some contracts our way, try us out, come and take a tour. I would love for you guys to come and see where we're at. We're just right here in the sea of mirrored buildings. We're all a Realtor Road down here in Midvale/Cottonwood Heights, and just contact me. Here's my contact information right here. My new little headshot. Hang on. Oh, come on. There we go. So here is my email address and my phone number. If you want to talk to me, email is a great way to do it. And if there's anything that I can do to answer questions for you now, please let me know. So come off mute, talk to me. No questions? I did that great.
You did do that great, Kathy. And holy crap, you almost are exactly on the dot 1 hour. How
There
did
we go. See? I was practicing that.
Yeah. No, amazing content. And I'm sure everybody took some notes like I did. Early on in the presentation, I caught one that you mentioned that I'm really bad at, but you turned it into a phrase that I can remember. Talking about your schedule, following a schedule. You started out with that. If I erase, I must replace.
Yeah.
And I'm horrible at reacting sometimes to the needs of others. And I don't reschedule what I meant to do for me and keep it on the calendar. It sometimes gets pushed aside. So that was a big takeaway for me. You know, if I erase it off my calendar, it needs to go somewhere else so that it just doesn't get forgotten. Everybody on this call knows that we're in a very reactionary business, but we can't let that control our lives. I think we'll all be happier if we could just do that one thing for me.
Yeah, no, I love that. Let me rephrase that for you just a little bit. Like, Jeff, that's one of the most amazing things about you, is that you truly care about people and that you're right there for them. You're like a great, you and Lynn both are like great Johnny on the spots. Like when people need you, you're right there and you're very receptive to that. And if I understood what you were saying, is like the self-care might be something that kind of goes off to the side. I mean, so you look great, so it doesn't go off to the side very often. However, at the end of the day, it's like sometimes the things that we need to do for ourselves do slide, because because that's how we're wired. And so William taught me this because when I thought it was great customer service for me to, like, whatever my clients needed, like I was just right there for them. I would answer my phone call at 10 o'clock at night. Oh, that's another thing. I'm going to change your life again. Third time. See, third time I'm going to change your life. I would love for you guys to set a time on when you're going to run your business. So for me, it was 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I would answer my phone for my clients from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. This was after I got on the Bustos team because William taught me this. And after 8 p.m., my voicemail message would say, if this is after 8 p.m., I will call you back tomorrow, regular business hours, 8 a.m. And that would be how I would respond, and they would be okay. Now, my clients, if we were in negotiations or if we had an emergency, they would know that they could text me and say 911, and I would trust that they weren't going to ask me something silly at 9:30 at night. And so that would be kind of like the fail safe for being there. But William called me a Pop-Tart agent. And he's like, you just pop up out of the toaster and you just run 90 miles an hour. You think that's great customer service. And yet the things that you need to do to run your business, that is exactly what helps to keep it even. Because I was spiking, and it was like business, 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 and close, 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 and business, 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 and close, close, close. And it was just like doing this. But that simple thing, that adjustment really helped me a lot. And I've got 2 and 4 tomorrow for showings, which works best for you. I also explained to them I've got 6 houses I'm going to show you. It's going to take 2 hours with 15 minutes per house. I mean, it was very, very, laid out to them. And people love a good schedule. They love to know what's happening. They love to know what their choices are. And so that was something I really worked at. And it really helped me in the end keep my business really solid. So do you guys have any other questions for me, or are we doing okay? It's 1:05.
Do you have any comments or questions or anything you'd like to voice before we shut down, guys? Feel free.
Thank you, Kathy. It was great.
Oh, thanks, Sherry. I appreciate it.
Great content. Loved it. I feel like I just read one of my 35 books right here.
Awesome.
Okay, so you guys have got several handout pieces that are going to be coming from me. And again, please, if I didn't get your email address, put it in the chat room and we'll grab it. But then you'll be getting these things, and they're really great pieces to help you run your business. If there's anything that you need, please send me an email if you have questions, whatever. And then give us a try. You guys, Novation title is the bomb. And it is really redefining how we're going to be closing our clients. They truly get to celebrate. And everybody walks out of here with a huge smile on their face. And I just love that. Okay?
Thank you, Kat. Love you. Thank you for your time again.
Thank you.
One last reminder, guys, put it in the chat. If you registered on Eventbrite, I have your email, but some of you came straight through with a Zoom link. Some of you are having troubles and I texted it to you. So if you didn't register, make sure you put it in the chat so we have everybody's email. And Brandon, it looked like you were just going to say.
Oh, I was just saying thank you. That was great.
Oh.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hi, Bill. I saw you briefly for just a second.
I'm right here.
I'm glad you got on. Good, good, good.
Fantastic job. I feel like you're my team leader all over again. It was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. It was very, very informative. I took a lot of notes too. So.
Oh, awesome. I love it.
Perfect.
All right, you guys. Well, thanks so much for having me. This was great. So good to see all of you again. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you again soon. And take care. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks,
Thank
Kathy.
Thanks.
Guys.